and looked up because this moon was directly ahead. It wasn't full, but it was a big round circle. There were no clouds. There were dozens of stars. I looked over and saw the Little Dipper, and I just got mesmerized by looking through the palm limbs and the oak limbs that are around my house, where I'm looking up into the sky, and the vastness of the evening and the stars shining from God knows how far away, sharing their light and the reflection of the light of the moon. And I got lost in it, and the world kind of went away, and my heart opened, and I felt such gratitude and peace and freedom. This is the kind of love that I'm talking about. Another one is holding a puppy or a dog. And I bring that up for a reason, because I want to share a personal experience with you. And stick with me through this, because I don't want you to think that this is the same old story that you may have heard before, but it's a powerful, powerful, maybe one of the most powerful experiences I've had in a very long time, maybe in my life. Recently, my 16-year-old Shih Tzu, Harvey, crossed the Rainbow Bridge, as they say. He made his transition. He passed on. And I have come to find out that he's the true love of my life. Now, don't tell my wife. Actually, it's a bit of a joke between her and I, because we're constantly trying to figure out, whether we love Harvey more than we love each other, and it doesn't really matter because we love each other in the same way. Almost. Because all humor aside, he's taught me the most important lesson of my life, truly. You see, I thought it was him being in my life every day and making me smile was why he was there. You know how dogs can be. And Harvey's one of those cute little dogs that isn't annoying, is quiet most of the time, not always, and just is so sweet in the way that he is. The feeling that I would have always would have when I held him in my arms. And he's a small dog, so I could actually curl him up and place him on my chest in my recliner and just hold him there. I mean, it was just amazing what I would feel when I would do that. Kind of like holding a baby, how cute he was when we walked through the house and he'd be curled up in one of his 5 different dog beds in the house. Or, when it was time to watch TV, he would let us know he wanted to be up there in the middle of the couch between me and my wife, all curled up. On our bed when we were sleeping. Yes, he slept not between us, but in our bed, and we got a special place for that, for him to be. And he gave me a gift no other person, situation, circumstance, or condition, or thing has ever been able to. It wasn't until he was gone that I realized just how much he did this. You see, Harvey opened my heart. He opened my heart in a way like it's never been opened before. You see, he had no expectation of me, and I had no expectation of him. In my day-to-day life while he was here, I was just loving on him, and he was loving on me. And I've stopped to think about it after he's gone, and we just were in love with each other all the time. I would look at him and feel love within me. Now, I can't say that I know what he was feeling, but I know how he would respond to being held or being cared for. And our relationship was so vulnerable and so intimate in the way that we had that connection. He was almost like a child, because part of that reason was, and I should share this with you, is he had a disorder his whole life, pigmentation in his eyes. He never has seen clearly from day one. And it got worse and worse and worse over years, and other situations in his eyes literally had him hardly be able to see these last years of his life. He also, growing older, 13, 14, 15 years old, he lost his hearing and wasn't able to hear very well. And so here's this dog that was living this sort of life of his own, and his whole life was around 2 things: what he could smell, because his nose worked really good, and then his connection with us. So every time I would think about it, I would walk over to him and I would put my hand in front of his nose and I would pet him and I would be there with him. I mean, he knew we were there. He could smell us. My wife would come home from work and he'd get up and start looking for her and even bark for her. In fact, synchronistically and maybe ironically, he became more of a puppy in his actions, barking and carrying on in these last few years of his life. It's almost like he knew his life was, working towards the end and he was going to get the most out of it. So, gosh, this is the first time I've thought about it, and I'm sharing it with you in that realization. He was living in love, the love that he had being in this home, being cared about with us and the sharing that we did. And we did. We dedicated ourselves, our families, I did, to taking care of him. Little did he know he was taking care of us so much more than we were taking care of him. Yeah, there were tears and loss, a sense of emptiness in the house when he wasn't there anymore, at least physically. But what we realized, like no one and nothing else, he not only opened our hearts, he opened the gateway for allowing us to feel love, true love, be in love, beyond measure, beyond limits, without conditions. Yeah, we're still working on the pain. It's only been a month. But we asked him to do something. And I don't know that I would ever think of doing this with a dog, but he's so much more than a dog to me. I've asked him to be with me and with us now and forever. His spirit with us. Because I don't want my heart to ever close. I want my heart to stay open. I want to live in love, and he is that symbol. Certainly my wife, certainly my grandchildren, certainly my children and my friends. And I'm not saying that I don't have love with and for them. Right now, he represents my heart wide open, living in love in a way I never have before. And that's what makes life worthwhile. All the circumstances and situations that have changed, all the people that I've lost, all the things that have gone on that I've had to struggle with over this last year and the years before don't matter. When we are able to live with our heart open, and Harvey is that catalyst for me, at least. And I'm not saying go out and get a dog and keep him for 10.5 years and lose him for opening your heart. I'm saying that when we open our heart and we allow ourselves to feel that way, we can live in love. And we live in that love not because he gave it to us and not because he took it away. He was in this world, in our lives, in our hearts, and he will be now and forever. And we each have a choice every moment to open our hearts or to leave it as it is. And I know it's vulnerable. I know we have loss and emptiness and pain. In fact, I talk about our hearts having chambers that we sometimes close that are empty, or we're holding on to the loves because we're afraid, or they've got fear, or whatever we might have. And every time we open a door of a chamber that we've held back in our heart, and we allow love to flood into a room that might have been filled with loss or pain or fear, we're filled with more love, and we're more in love, and we can live more life in love, and we can share that with those who we care about, with each other. It is the key that allows us to open up into a state of being in love that can make the difference no matter what's going on around us. It brings us comfort and encouragement and inspiration and upliftment, freedom, beauty, joy, peace. I invite you to consider, everybody's different and got different reasons and circumstances. Look into your heart. Allow it to be open. Live in love as the spirit of life in your life and in the world, and share it with those who you care about. Share it as you make your way. Be all you can be in your life now and forever, and know that you do make a difference, because we are the world. We're in this together. Who we are individually is who we are when we connect with one another, whether it's virtual or whether it's in person, and that's all going to evolve to be what it is. And we have this opportunity to make the most of it. Let's do that, and let's do that from a place of unconditional and boundless love. Let it dissolve the boundaries of the limitations that we believe are possible for ourselves and what we can experience, create, manifest, share, and be together. Let us find a way to ignite the flame of our hearts so bright that it allows all of us to see more clearly. all of us to be more open and free and together in a way that is the difference, that makes the difference. As you make your way, know that we all have a different set of circumstances and situations to walk through. If there's some way that I can, help you in that, I'm happy to do that. I do this. I have classes. I have all kinds of things that I offer to share a little bit of me, the I am with you, in hopes that it makes a difference. Thank you for listening to this personal story that I don't know if I described it well enough, really changed who I am and how I am living my life, and that I'm able to live it in love, even though Harvey's not here anymore. And so let's share that with one another. Let's make our way through our life being well, being safe, being conscious in what we do, how we act, how we interact. Let's be compassionate, kind, and understanding with one another. Let's make the world a little bit better place. We really need that. We really do. Have a beautiful 2021 rest of your day, week, month, and God bless to each and all of you.